Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're going to go to rule 6C, which is going to talk about sec squared. How do you integrate sec squared? In the previous video, I've talked about how to integrate sine or cosine or minus sine minus cosine, still the same principle. But now I'm going to talk about how to integrate sec squared, all right? And like I said in the previous videos, this video is having the same 5 steps like the sine and cosine. So instead of you having sine here, you're going to be working with sec squared. All right. So before I proceed, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you've not clicked the notification bell, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please do so that when I upload new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right, so let's go. Like I said in the previous videos, that there's an interesting relationship between sine and cosine, and also for tan and sec squared. But in this video, we're gonna just focus on only sec squared and tan. Just for the fun of it, and as a revision, I'm gonna rewrite the same thing here. So just in case someone has skipped the previous video and it's so that I won't lose anybody in this video as well. So like I said in the previous video, there is an interesting relationship between sine and cosine. Okay, between sine and cosine, and also between tan and sec squared. Okay, so like I said in the previous video, so we have sine, cosine, minus cosine. All right. So when you're going in the clockwise direction, so that means when you differentiate sine, it will give you cosine. When you differentiate cosine, it's going to give you minus sine. When you differentiate minus sine, it's going to give you minus cosine. And when you differentiate minus cosine, it's going to give you sine. So this is for differentiation. So I've talked about this in the differentiation series. So you can go to my channel and look out for the differentiation videos and you can watch it there. And also, I've talked previously as well that it's exactly the same thing when you integrate as well, is that in this case, you go in the opposite direction. So when you integrate cosine, it's going to give you sine. When you integrate sine, it's going to give you minus cosine. When you integrate minus cosine, it's going to give you minus sine. And when you integrate minus sine, it's going to give you what? Cosine. So this is integration. Okay? It's integration. Then finally, what we are going to focus now is on sec squared. So I told you there's a relationship as well between sec squared and tan. So when you're going from tan to sec squared, this is called differentiation, okay? So you differentiate when you're going from tan to sec squared. But when you're going from sec squared all the way to tan, this is what we call integration, okay? So this is what you call integration. And also, I told you there are 5 steps for doing this, which is similar to that we talked about in sine and we've talked about in cosine. So we're going to talk about exactly the same thing here. So the 5 steps on how to do this, all right? So the 5 steps. So the first thing I told you as well is that you have to convert the trigonometry sign to the appropriate integral form first. So you have to convert the trigonometry sign okay? And number 2, after you've converted, then you have to add a variable from the question to step 1 so that to give you the integrated trigonometric function and variable in brackets. So You are just replacing the trigonometry form with the integrated trig form from step 1, okay? So don't worry, I'm going to solve an example like I always do to explain the concept. It's very easy, okay? So you're going to add the variable from the question to step 1 to give, okay, an integrated trigonometry form. Okay? And you also have to make sure that the variable is also in the bracket. So nothing happens or changes with the variable. Okay? Then when you're done with this, number 3, you then differentiate the variable in the bracket. Number 4, you divide step 2 with step 3. And after you divide, number 5, you then add C. So you add C if indefinite, okay? So you add C if indefinite. All right, so let's pick an example here, all right? Um, so let's pick an example to explain this concept. So let's assume you were told you are meant to integrate, okay? You're meant to integrate sec squared 5x in respect to dx. Okay, sec squared 5x in respect to dx. So the first thing, we have to convert the trig sign to the appropriate trig form, integral form. So we know that sec squared, when you integrate sec squared, is going to give us what? Tan x, okay? When we integrate that, it's going to give us tan. So that means step 1. So we have sec squared is going to give us what? Tan, all right? So that means step 2. We'll go to step 2 now. So step 2 now said that we then have to add a variable from question 1 to give the integrated trig form with the variable in bracket, okay? So basically what we are going to do is that we're going to remove the sec. So having sec squared now, we're going to have tan this time. And it's going to be tan 5x. Are you seeing it? Now step 3, what do? So we then have to what? Differentiate the variable in the bracket. So the variable in the bracket we have here is 5x. So when you differentiate 5x, it's going to give us what? 5. So please, if you're not conversant and you're not comfortable with differentiation, please go back to my video series on differentiation and look at all the rules on differentiation. So it will give you 5. Then step 4, what do? Step 4, you now divide step 2 by step 3 result. So step 2 we have here, we have step 2 to be tan 5x. Then you now divide this by step 3, which is what? 5. Then when you have this, then step 5, you now add C to it. So I'm going to say step 4 and step 5. And that will give us plus C. So the answer for this is going to be tan 5x divided by 5 plus C. Okay, let me pick one more. Let's assume you are told to integrate 1 over 2 sec squared 4x plus 2 in respect to what? Dx. Okay, so like I always say, when you have a constant, you bring out a constant. So it's going to become 1 over 2, the integral of what? Sec squared 4x plus 2 in respect to what? Dx. Okay, then we have step 1. The first thing we have to do, we have to integrate sec squared, okay? So we know that when you integrate sec squared, it's going to give us what? Tan x, all right? So that means we're going to have this to be what? Tan x. Then step 2, okay? We integrate that to give us tan x. Then step 2, we then replace this tan x in the original question, right? So it's going to become 1 over 2. So instead of having sec, we're going to have what? Um, we're going to have tan x. All right. Oh, sorry, not tan x. It's going to be tan. Okay. So if you integrate sec squared x, it's going to give you tan x, right? So, but the tan will now become, but instead of having x, we're going to have the same variable we have here, which is 4x plus 2. Are you seeing it? Then step 3, the next thing you have to do is to differentiate what is in the bracket. So you have 4x plus 2. When you differentiate 4x plus 2 is going to give you what? 4. Now step 4, you then have to divide. So it's going to be 1 over 2 into bracket. We're going to have tan 4x plus 2 all divided by what? 4. All right. And you can easily break this up by having it to be 2 times 4 will give you 8. So it's going to give us tan 4x plus 2 divided by 8. Then at step 5, in step 5, I told you you have to add what? You have to add c to this. And that'll be the answer for that. And that'll be the answer for that. Let me just add one more example before I give you some exercises to try. I think let me just add one more. So let's assume we have this question here. We're meant to integrate 6 sec squared 2x in respect to dx. So like I always say, you bring out the constant. It's going to be 6 integral of what? Sec squared 2x. So step 1, what do? Step 1, you have to convert sec squared. So sec squared, when you integrate sec squared, so remember I told you when you integrate sec squared, it's going to give you tan, right? So it's going to give us tan. Step 2, we then have to what? Replace the sec squared with tan. So it's going to give us 6 into bracket tan 2x. Are you seeing it? So you replace the sec squared with tan. Now step 3, we now differentiate what is in the bracket. 2x. So when you differentiate 2x, it's going to give us what? 2. Now step 4. So step 4, we now divide step 2 with step 3. Okay? We divide step 2 with step 3. So step 2 is we have it as what? 6 tan 2x divided by what? 2. Are you seeing it? So then you can also further simplify because 2 can go into 6, and that'll give you 3 tan 2x. Okay? Then on step 5, we always say you then add what? You then add what? C to it. And that will be the answer for that. 3 tan 2x plus C. All right, good. Let me give you some examples to try. So you can try this. Like I always say, you can put it in the comment section, your answers, and to see what other subscribers think about it. Or you can comment with a friend, or you can share your answer with a friend, and see if you get the same thing as well, okay? So let's assume we're told to integrate sec squared 3x in respect to dx. Number 2, we're told to integrate 3 over 4 sec squared 3x plus 1 in respect to dx, okay? And let's assume maybe another interesting one, maybe say 8 sec squared 5x. And you're told to integrate this, okay? So how do you do it? So I want you to try that, okay? So try it, put it in the comment section, and see what other subscribers think about it. Okay, and that will be that for that. So that's how you integrate sec squared. Okay, that's how you integrate sec squared. And we're done with the whole of the basic or the standard trigonometry functions. So the next video, which is going to be the next rule, I'm going to, because of time, I'm going to just give you the other derivatives of all the other trig functions. So you can see that regardless, they basically have similar ways of solving it. So what I'm going to do in the next video, I'm going to just give you the list of other trig derivatives, okay? So that you can go to the textbook, go to the workbook or worksheet, and try to solve more questions on that. So it's very important that you subscribe and click notification bell so that when I post this video, you'll be the first person to know. All right, so I'll see you soon. I'll see you in the next video where we talk about how the other trig derivatives for this.